can introduce this man.
I've had a lot of pressure on me, and I'm a little nervous. But it makes me feel good to see everybody, all friends, family here. Jeff and Catherine, thank you for such a perfect evening. You know, over the last 6 years, I've really gotten to know your daughter really, really well. The first night I met Sarah, we didn't actually meet. I was sitting at the corner of the bar looking for my brother. On the corner of the dance floor was Sean and Sarah. Lips locked. So I went home that evening, or I guess the next night on Sunday. And the Cordes family loves doing family dinners pretty much every Sunday. That's what we do. So we were sitting at the dinner table, and of course, Judy, Mom, Dad, everybody wanted to know the gossip on Sean and how he was doing. And I said, well, I think he met this girl. I'm not real sure of her name. All I know is that they were making out on the dance floor. So, as I said, we have dinners all the time. Well, of course, all of a sudden, here comes this girl, Sarah, that's coming over to our family dinners. I don't really know who she is. I haven't really figured her out yet. And we're eating dinner, and my grandma looks up, and she says, "Is this the girl from Rusty's?" Sarah, this is directed to you. When I was 26 years old, I was skeptical. Sean means the world to me. I wanted him to go out and experience life like I have. Scotty! I'm 30 and single.
What was that bow you just did?
Tonight that you're my sister, I've felt that way about you forever. You are the sweetest girl I've ever met, and I knew within a couple of years that you were the woman for Sean. And Brad said it last night, and I wasn't going to repeat his line, but he is 100% right. And Les Burns, where are you? He's a smart man. I asked a friend a couple months ago, I said, how do you know that the woman is right? And he said, Scott, you know it when you know she's better than you. And Sarah, Sean knows that. Sean, I'm going to start this emotional. There's not a moment that I don't remember.
Wow.
There's not a moment that I remember before you. I remember being in the hospital when you were born. It was only flashes, but I remember how excited I was that I was going to have a new brother in this world. My mom, when we were kids, Mom, come up here for a second. Mom, by the way, Mom last night gave a speech of her life. The emotional one was my dad. The humorous one was her. Did you bring the...
Oh, I didn't.
She's not very good with props. My mom, when we were kids, I remember I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and there was this picture, and it says, first you were a bother, then you were a brother, now you are a friend. And I remember when I was about 10 years old, I asked my mom, I pulled her aside because I couldn't figure it out. I said, first you were a father. What's bother? Like, I know, obviously everybody knows the definition of bother. But Sean, I've never looked at you as a bother. I've looked at you as a brother, and I've looked at you as a friend. And I don't ever see that changing. You know, when we were growing up, I was kind of the bad kid. I mean, Sean now is completely different than he was growing up. He about burnt down an entire residential development because him and Brad Burns, excuse me, not Brad, sorry, Matt Oliver, started a fire in a field right next to a brand new development. And as it got bigger, they thought, we're going to put it out by urinating all over. So Sean gets home, and I'm standing in the front doorway, and Dad says, Sean, you need to mow the yard. There isn't a peep out of his voice. He gets that lawnmower out, and he's going up and down the yard. He's 4'6". As a cop car pulls up. The cop car pulls up, and Mom and I go like this. Sean's doing this. Mom looks at me and goes, what'd you do? Mom, I've been with you the entire day. I'm pretty sure I didn't mess this one up. Cop comes to the front door. Mrs. Cordis? Yes. Do you have a son named Sean? I look at Mom and say, yes, she does. I taught Sean a lot of things. First off, before I get into what I taught him, my dad has been one of the best influences on us because he has shown us how to treat women. And Dad, thank you for that, because last night you gave Sean and I props. And I remember when I was younger, Dad pulled me aside once because I had made a complete ass of myself at a high school party. And I thought I was just going to get completely torn to shreds. And he wasn't even mad. He said, Scott, he said, you don't want to be the guy at the party that everybody talks about the next morning. And I still remember it. So there must be some truth to it. But Dad, thank you. Because you really have. You have made Sean the person he is. When I graduated, my grandpa gave us a sum of money. And my grandpa was going around the table and he said, well, what would you guys do with this money if you got it? Obviously, the money's in my hands. I said, I'm buying a new car. My two cousins say some type of novelty item, something that depreciates. And he goes, Sean, what would you do with that money? Sean goes, as an 18-year-old kid, I'd invest in a Roth IRA. And I knew we were screwed. Sean, I want you to come up here real quick.
He's big on this.
Louis, the left-hand side of those glasses is Sean's. The right-hand side of mine, do not mess this up. Because you're going to drink them both. Sean, I want to send you off in the right way by taking a shot of vodka. You are one of the luckiest people I know that you get to marry that woman right there. Chase it with that. Now, I know this is long, so I'm going to wrap it up. There's one story from our childhood that I want to go over with you real quick because it is freaking hilarious. We shared bunk beds when we were kids.
Yeah.
I slept on the top bunk. Yes. Sean slept on the bottom bunk. One night, Sean's being feisty. I'm being feisty. Mom comes upstairs. You guys need to go to bed. I said, Mom, I'm not going to bed until Sean gets me a glass of water. Sean grabs the glass, goes into the bathroom, comes out with a glass of water. I chug it. He goes back into the bathroom, comes back out, gets in bed, and he's hysterically laughing. Hey, Sean, you like that glass of water? all I said. If you know me, you know I'm not lying.
You just need to drop the mic.
Sean comes out and says, ha ha ha, I got the water out of the toilet. Mom says, no you didn't. And Sean said, what? I flushed first. Sean, congratulations, you're getting married after 20 years. I just want you to know that I flushed the toilet first, and it's public water from the Marriott bathroom. Cheers to Sean and Sarah.